Hello, this is a video tutorial that's going to take you through the assessment side of the database with regards to the next steps. So what I have just done for this child is a quick assessment, and that was done through the assessments button, and I would do them by age range. So from here it's very easy. The criteria from the early years outcomes that you feel this child can now do, you select them and you just click in them that the child can now do them. So you work your way through the different criteria, and every one that you feel the child is now secure in, you select it and save it in here, and they have now been archived. All the criteria that you have selected can be found in this All Met green button from the main form, and this shows specific to the child whose profile you're on all of the criteria that you have selected that the child can do. In order for them to get next steps, what I do is open the assessments button again and select this one, which is all of the criteria that has not yet been selected as being met. I have this open alongside this section of the database because this is where the next steps are held. So I look through the criteria that has not yet been met and have a look to the ones that I feel the child is nearly secure in. So I can see that this one, the copies familiar expressions, is in 16 to 26 and in the area of communication and language. So I will then go over here to select new and then find that one criteria. You'll then see that that criteria that I've identified on this one, found it in this one, and it's sent over. Then I will click save. And this is updated each time that you do a next step. So if I open this again now, you will see that criteria 118 is no longer available to be selected because it's already as a focus. I will then click new, and I'll go and locate a different criteria that I feel is ready, which is this one, 127. So I'll go down again, 16 to 26, physical development, and I can see there. And save it again, and what I'll do now, each time that you select save a new next step, you'll see here that the number changes to 2, and within this button you can see the 2 criteria that you've selected for next step. Now you're able to see here that I've just gone through and selected for 8 criteria to be as next steps for this child. So I can now close out of this one. Now these 8 criteria I can view in the Have Focus, and this is just for information purposes. Now in my setting I like to print these out to have a paper copy that is in the child's daily file, so the parents are also able to annotate when they've seen the child do these specific things in their setting at their home, and that just means that I can look out for them more in the setting here. In order to put an observation against these, if you go to assessments and learning journal, now you will see that the different criteria that you've put in here are the ones that you're going to be looking through in this form. And all of the 8 criteria are all through here. Now in this one, you may go through when you've done their assessments or you're reviewing their next steps. You can look through these and see if you feel a child has met them now. You don't, just because they're in here, it doesn't mean that you have to do a specific observation against them. All you would need to do, if you feel that they can now do this one, they're interested in books and rhymes and may have favourites, but you haven't done a specific observation or have photos to put against this one, all you need to do is click archive and then save it. And number 134 has gone, so it's now in your Met criteria, which is down here. I'll just show you. And there it is. So it's now been met. And now you're left with 7 criteria to have focus. Now what you can do in this one, if you've got a specific observation that you have done against this next step and you wanted to do an observation against them to write it up, you just type that in here. You may also want to put a photo to support your observation, and by doing that, if you open up the file that contains your photos, if you right click, open with, and go down to choose the default program, and if you select paint, once your photo is opened in paint, if you select it and cut it, you can then paste it directly into your database. And you can go through each criteria that you've got in here and add more information to them once you've done your assessments against these specific next steps that you've made. If you feel that in doing an observation you can see that there's a next step for it, you can also write that in here. Once you have finished your observation, you can select to print it, which you can also do this by saving it to PDF, or you can click to archive it. Now if I show you this one, once you archive it, as you saw with the criteria 134, it will disappear from this form. So what I will do now is show you where that's gone. So you can see in here, that is now there, 120, and it's been met. Now in this one here, you can put archive journals. So these are the So this will show you the criteria that you've made an observation against, the observation that you've made, and the photos that you've put in. Now if you feel that you want to add to this, all you then need to do is go to the next All Met, go down to that criteria number 120 and remove this tick. If you now update the database and go back into the Learning Journal, you'll see that it has come back. Now with each of the observations that you're doing, you have the function that you can add additional criteria that you feel the child met, and this works the same way as the next steps does. And then you can have an additional list down there. But all that you would need to do, you can either print them so that they print out with this observation, or you can simply click to archive these. And you will see that these ones, once you click to save, will disappear, and they have again been sent into the All Met criteria. Now as you're going through the observations that you have as next steps, you can simply think that this one needs more focus on. This one you can say they've met now, so you can archive it once you've printed it. This one they can do now, don't have an observation for that one. Same as that one, archive it. So I'm going to save this. And you can see now I'm left with 4 criteria with focus. So I'm going to leave those active. You can also get an overview. So if you go to the specific age range on here and click Met Statistics, you'll see that this child has met all the criteria in the age range of 0 to 11. In 8 to 20, they've met all the criteria. From 16 to 26, they have still got some criteria left. So it may be that you're looking to have next steps for mainly the criteria in 16 to 26. What you can also see from in here is from your assessments and from your next steps and where you've been archiving criteria, you can see his attainment levels. So this is really good to give you an overview. You can see from where I got the statistics up, you can see 0 to 11, this child is secure in all areas because they've met them all. You can see that within the age range to 8 to 20, again he was secure because he's met them all. You can see now that 16 to 26, which is where he had some criteria that was still needing to be met, you can see that he's secure in the first two. He's confident in physical and development, that's because there's still some criteria outstanding. And within mathematics, he's still emerging. So it may be the case after looking at that you want to go on to here. So from this, I'm going to select some criteria for maths. So because this is highlighted that the age range 16 to 26, and it's the area of mathematics that I need to select some new next steps for, I don't necessarily need to go into the assessments, I can just bring it up in here. And this will show me all of the ones that he has not yet met. So there's only 4 in there, so potentially you can put a few more in there. And save that. So it's put your current focus to 11,